everybody, it's Fox here live from quarantine. I'm currently quarantining. I don't know that word. I'm currently quarantining on the Yonsei University campus. I'm in the SK Global House dorms. But today I just wanted to talk to you guys about how I got my visa and just basically my entry into Korea, because it was not what I expected. It was a bit of a debacle because of all the customs and quarantine COVID policies that they've got going on right now, because they take this very seriously over here, which is awesome because we need to get rid of this disease as soon as we can. Also, I'm in quarantine, so I got to put on makeup for the first time in a little bit. That's really cool. I got here on August 10th. It's August 12th today. Basically, what happened when I got my visa, I visited my local consulate. So you could actually go on the embassy website or your local consulate website, and there's probably going to be a link to the visas. So my visa was a D26 visa, which is basically an exchange student visa. I believe on the website it does have kind of like a map of like different types of visas, but yeah, basically the visa form that they'll give you or that you can print out has just where you're going to stay, how long you're staying for, who you are. It's basically all that kind of information. Also, when I went to turn in my stuff, I needed a small passport picture. My passport, 45 USD, and also they gave me a form that was basically like a quarantine agreement form. So it was basically saying like, yes, when I get to Korea, I am going to quarantine and follow COVID protocol. As far as I know, that's all I can remember of what I had to bring. Oh, I also had to bring, basically Yonsei gave me a packet that was kind of like a letter of acceptance and all of their information, all of their business information that I needed to give the consulate whenever I was getting my visa. I basically had their business number on there, their location, their phone number, basically a confirmation that I was going to stay with them and going to study here as long as I said that I was. I'm not sure exactly what you would get if you would be working here or if you're studying at a different university, but that's what Yonsei gave me. So if anybody has, I guess, experience getting a visa for Korea for business purposes and you got different information, leave a comment on how you got your visa, just to help out whoever needs it. Basically what happened was I gave in my visa. Basically they said that they could not approve my visa until 30 days before I left. So it took like 2 weeks to get approved. So it was very nerve-wracking. I thought, oh my god, I'm not gonna get in time, or what if they like refuse it and now I'm stuck and I don't have a visa and I said I was going and I don't know what to do. But yeah, basically it was very down to the wire. But I got it, no problem. The visa itself is a sheet of paper. I would show it to you, but I also don't really want to show you my visa because there might be personal information on it, but it basically has like my stay. Basically it's just an approval. Now when I got into Korea, I didn't take a video of it unfortunately, but on the plane they gave me customs declaration, and so it was 4 papers. It's like 2 of them were like custom stuff, and then the other 2 were COVID stuff. It was basically saying like, where are you going to quarantine? Do you have any COVID symptoms? Like things like that. It was super straightforward. You did need to write your passport number like 4 times. I think I got that memorized by now. But when I came in, there was a gate where they took your temperature, and then you had to download an app that was basically a self-check quarantine app, and yeah, you basically put in your information for that, and twice a day I have to record any symptoms that I might have, and they gave me Beyonce gave me a thermometer, so I have to take my temperature morning and afternoon. It's super simple, super straightforward. You just pop that into the app and you should be good. But you can't forget to do that because that's really important. But there was like 4 or 5 different checkpoints where they just gave me papers and took my papers, and it was, I'm not really sure. I felt like at one point I had more papers than I came in with. But at the end of all of that, also sorry, it's really hot, so I have my AC blasting. At the end of all of that, they gave me this mandatory quarantine instructions, this paper, which is a notice of isolation quarantine. So basically it says, yes, this person is quarantining, and it does tell my location of where I'm quarantining. And then this one is a restriction of scope of activities. So this basically says, you know, this person knows that they're supposed to be quarantining. And that, I think, is pretty much it, and a health screening certificate. So it tells them that I took the screening, that they got all that stuff from me. So it was a whole thing going through customs. And then when I got out of customs, when I got my baggage, there was a whole area where you got your transportation. Because I was a student, they were like, hey, do you have somebody driving you? Like, what's the deal? And I was like, no, Beyonce didn't give us any, like, specific rides, or, you know, basically Beyonce gave me the instructions of take a taxi or take a subway or whatever. And because I couldn't do that because of the COVID guidelines, basically they gave me a COVID taxi. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it was basically for anybody who was on their way to quarantine, or basically any incoming travelers took this taxi if they didn't already have, you know, somebody picking them up. There was also a bus, but I picked doing the taxi because it was just, they were waiting, so I was like, I'll just do the taxi since they're already here. But it was about 70,000 won, so a little less than $70, I believe. And yeah, he took me straight up to the SK Global House where I needed to go, which was really awesome. It was like probably about a 40, maybe 30-minute taxi ride. It was quite long from Incheon Airport to where I am in Seoul. But it wasn't bad. So when I got to the SK Global House, I needed basically a certificate that said that I had my tuberculosis test, because that was required for here, basically just saying that I don't have tuberculosis. It's not going to get passed around the house. We also needed a negative COVID test. However, when I got in, so because of how long it took at the airport, I landed at 4:40 and I got out about 7:30. It took quite a long time to get through. But because of that, the clinic shut at 6, so I missed the clinic. And what they did for me and other students who also missed the clinic was that they gave us a little number plus a QR code that we had to fill out all of our health information on. So the number was 9:10 a.m. for me. I wish I still had my paper, I don't. And we were supposed to go down to the lobby at 9 a.m., have our passport and our cell phone ready, and they bussed us off to this outside waiting area right outside where the clinic was, and they came by and gave everybody a little vial and a swab with their name on it. And then after a little while, they took us in little groups of about, I believe, like 10 of us, probably less than that. They took us up to, I didn't take a video of it, I wasn't sure if I could, but they took groups of us to this outdoor testing area, basically, where we went into a little room. The person was on the other side of the glass. They took our vial and our swab. She stuck the swab right up my nose. I'm pretty sure it touched the back of my throat. It was not a pleasant experience, but summer. And then I was done, and then we waited for everybody to get done, and they bussed us back to the SK Global House, and now I'm sitting in quarantine. Yeah, so 14 days in my little dorm. I'm gonna give you guys a dorm tour in a little bit. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope that answered any questions that you might have had about getting into Korea and getting your visa. Like I said, if I remember anything else that you might need to get your visa or to get into the country, then I will put that down into the comments. Before I forget, before you get on the airplane, you do need a negative COVID test taken about 3 days before you leave. So do not forget that. It has to be a PCR test. It has to be. It cannot be one of the rapid swabs. At least for Korea, that is what they required, was a negative PCR test. Anyways.